All right, let's dive right in. In this explainer, we're going to break down a pretty shocking claim that came out of a podcast, all about a supposed method of spy torture. We're going to go through the alleged procedures step by step, exactly as it was described. So this was the question that was asked, and the answer, well, it described this incredibly detailed, multi-stage process. We're going to unpack that answer, piece by piece, just sticking to what was said in the source material. Okay, so let's get right to the heart of it. What we're about to walk through is a very specific and supposedly systematic procedure. You know, what really stands out here is how methodical this whole thing is supposed to be. It's not described as just random, chaotic violence. No, it's laid out as a calculated sequence of steps, where every single action has a specific purpose. So let's start with the first stage. So according to the source, the whole thing kicks off not with questions, but with making sure the person can't move at all. The very first step is all about taking away any possible chance of escape. Yeah, the number one priority right out of the gate is making escape completely impossible. This is described as the foundation for everything else that's about to happen. So you have to ask, how is this actually accomplished? And the source is, well, it's incredibly blunt about it. It claims a hammer is used to break the bones in the person's legs. The logic, as it's presented, is just brutally simple. If your legs are broken, you can't stand up and you definitely can't run. And this quote right here, taken directly from the source, pretty much confirms that thinking. It's a straight-up statement of the goal: make escape physically impossible. It's framed as this grim, practical first step before anything else happens. Okay, so once the person is completely immobilized, the story shifts. It starts to focus on a very specific tool, a tool they just call the hook. Now, this hook is described as having one very specific job. It's not for the surface of the body. Its whole purpose, allegedly, is to go deep inside to make direct contact with the bone itself. And the details they give are really specific. The claim is that these hooks are put in from behind the person, pushed deep enough to go right through all the muscle and tissue until they physically connect with the bone, basically anchoring into it. And all of this leads to the final act. You have the immobilization, then the insertion of the hooks, and it's all described as building up to this one final action. So once the legs are broken and the hooks are in place, the person is then supposedly lifted completely off the ground. Their entire body weight is just hanging from those 2 points where the hooks are dug into the bone. All right, let's step back for a second and connect all these dots. Let's look at the internal logic of this whole method, just as it was laid out. Each step is presented as having a clear and frankly brutal purpose. When you lay it out like this, you can really see the chilling logic behind it. It's a progression, right? First, you prevent escape. Then you create these anchor points, not just to cause pain, but for pure leverage. And that final act, the lifting, it just combines everything into this moment of absolute physical control, and you have to imagine just unbelievable pain. So we've just walked through a really graphic and methodical claim about this secret world of espionage. And the thing is, stories like this, whether they're true or not, they definitely shape how we see that world, how we see what happens in the shadows. It really makes you wonder, right? How do these kinds of narratives, regardless of their truth, change our understanding of intelligence, of conflict, and of the absolute limits of human cruelty? Not something to think about.